all cats old enough to catch their own prey gather here beneath the podcast for a clan meeting. Welcome to Paws Clause, a podcast where we read the Warrior Cats books in chronological order. I'm Jillian, joined by my co-host and clan census taker Scout, and today we will be discussing Bluestar's Prophecy and the Rise of Scourge manga. Scout, how are you doing today?
I'm looking at the numbers here, and they're telling me that the names are too similar.
That's what we've been hearing. We've been hearing a lot of reports that ThunderClan is somehow, in the grand scheme of things, with all of the name combinations available to them, we are hearing that they are just running out of inspiration and name ideas.
Yeah, it turns out that they really can't. They cannot get away from specific suffixes.
It's a shame.
That's what it's a real shame. You know, this is going to hurt them in the polls.
It really is. Well, you know, I feel like most folks have always classified ThunderClan as the Himbo clan, so I guess we can't. That's on us for expecting too much out of them.
You know, yeah, you're right. You know, they're out here being Chads. They don't have time to really be creative.
They're no River Clan.
They're not Shadow Clan over there with Silver Flame. Nobody's named Silver Flame.
Well, we do have to dock some points on Shadow Clan for naming a cat Foxheart.
That's true. Yeah, we do have to do that.
Oh man. The names sure were something.
The names
in this book.
Don't worry about it. I did. We'll hear a little bit more about those later.
Oh, we'll talk about it. Yeah, for sure.
Happy spooky day, everybody.
Yeah. We are, of course, recording this in September, but this episode is scheduled to go up on Halloween, so if you dressed up as any of the Warrior Cats, please email us a picture and we will put it on Twitter or at us on Twitter.
Hell yeah. Happy Halloween, all you Halloweenies out there.
My favorite holiday.
It's a good one.
Why don't we talk about how the Prey is running?
Let's talk about how the Prey is running.
How's the Prey running with you, Scout?
Prey is running pretty good. I've been on a big Pop-Tart kick for like my breakfast. Just having a nice lightly toasted Pop-Tart or two, and I've been enjoying it. It's been a nice time. I wasn't a kid who got a lot of Pop-Tarts as a child. We didn't really buy a lot of Pop-Tarts, so it's a bit of a novelty for me. It's enjoyable, a little sweet jammy treat. And otherwise, no super duper special meals to talk about this week. What about you?
I, of course, as we mentioned beforehand, have a delicious slice of cake.
Yes, I'm so jealous of the cake.
It was my husband's birthday this week, so I made him his favorite cake, which is an Earl Grey cake with a vanilla bean buttercream, and it is absolutely divine. I'm somebody who doesn't really like overly sweet desserts.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like that perfect balance of sweet and cakey. So it's like very much like a lower level of sweetness.
Yeah, it looks so good and it sounds so good.
And then tonight I made American goulash. It is nothing like Hungarian goulash, which I still have yet to make. American goulash is... how do I describe it for those who've never had it? It's macaroni noodles and ground beef and like a tomato sauce.
Oh, kind of adjacent to a hamburger helper, I suppose.
Yeah, it's like a homemade. Yeah, it's like a homemade hamburger helper sort of deal.
I think chili mac might also be an apt way to describe it, though it doesn't have like chili powder in it.
It doesn't have any beans or chili powder. It's like tomato sauce and Italian seasoning, garlic, and a big ol' heap of thing of Worcestershire sauce.
Nice. Almost a bolognese kind of, I feel like.
Almost. Regardless, it was delicious, and I need to make that more often.
Yeah, I bet it's a pretty easy thing to throw together.
Oh my god, it was so easy. It takes me literally 30 minutes to make. And a lot of times, here's the thing about a lot of those 30-minute recipes.
Often they're lying.
Because they do not take into account how long it takes to chop a vegetable or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
With this, it is literally like everything is in cans or
Right, you just
packages.
blop.
You just throw it all in the pot and you let it cook for...
Slap it all in
you
there.
You literally cook the meat and then you toss everything in and let it simmer for 20 minutes, and it is delicious.
Mwah.
I love food.
I love food. That sounds very good.
So you put down here, there's a new game on the website.
You put this down.
Did I put this down?
You put this down.
Oh my Lord, help me.
But yeah,
Listeners, here's the thing. Also this week, so this has been a week because I was out of town from Saturday through Tuesday. And then Wednesday, Baldur's Gate 3 came out on the PlayStation 5. Thursday was my husband's birthday. And ever since then, it has basically been like doing chores, working, playing Baldur's Gate. So I have forgotten things that I put in there early. So there's a new game called Medicine Mission. And from what I can tell, you click on cats that are sick, and then you have to mix herbs to cure them.
Wow.
But you're under a time limit, which...
Frightening.
Yeah. This game is literally stressing me out. I just ranked up to an apprentice. Oh, there's a typo.
Oh, incredible.
Well done. You've ranked up. You are now an apprentice.
An apprentice.
Oh no. There's more herbs now.
Oh, there's...
Oh God. I don't know what treats a bellyache.
Oh God, there's...
Oh Jesus.
There's too much happening. This is stressful. It looks like it would be fun if once you get to know it. But trying to...
Yeah, once you know how to cure things, I think it could be fun.
Trying to do it while recording a podcast is too...
That just ain't it.
It just ain't it. But it does seem, yeah, I've noticed this like lurking around on the corners of the website when I've gone occasionally. It seems like a fun little thing. I like the art in it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
There's like some cat portraits that are pretty nice. And incredible that these things are still being made.
Yeah. Again, like we've mentioned multiple times, incredible that this fandom is still like big enough to have stuff like this.
Yeah, absolutely. When you were little, did you ever go on the Warrior Cats website and play like the Minesweeper-esque sort of...
Yes.
Stepping stone adventure?
Yeah, I sure did.
I played that so much and I died
all the
so
time.
Much. You couldn't do shit for shit. Every step it was like, oh, you got run over.
Yeah, it was...
You went too close to the thunder path, you ate a weird berry. There was not a lot of progression on it, but I remember, I think I loaded that up on like dial-up at some point in my childhood to play it.
Yeah, it's weird how much has like changed about this website, because they took all of like the old stuff off.
Yeah, which is probably reasonable, considering it probably wasn't very good. I don't think that game was good, but it was a thing that's in my brain.
Yeah. I don't remember, do they still have... There used to be, like, you could go to the moon pool and get your warrior name.
Oh, they probably still have something like that.
Find out your warrior's name. No, that's an article.
Oh.
And that's one of those weird, like, first name... What is first letter of the name of your favorite childhood pet and your birth month kind of nonsense things. There it is, the moon pool. What answers do you seek? Oh, so it's like they still have the moon pool, but it is more of a, like... Magic 8 Ball. Enter a question with a yes or no answer and let them guide your path. Okay, do I type the question in? Oh my God, I can type my question in. Do you think they will let me be inappropriate?
Try it.
Okay, I'm asking an inappropriate question of the moon pool. Oh my God, I'm being shamed by the Warrior Cats website.
Did they tell you did a rude goof?
Curses and omens have no place in StarClan. Be gone. Okay, but it also says down at the bottom, the wisdom of the moon pool is provided using a random answer generator. So let me try using an inappropriate word again and see if I get the same thing, or if that was just an unlucky roll. What answer do I seek? Can Bluestar say fuck? Oh my God. Okay, yeah, it does have a fucking, like...
It's got a filter on
because this now it says you show signs of training with the Dark Forest. Leave before you anger StarClan further. I'm gonna get banned off the Warrior Cats website.
I can't believe saying fuck is enough to get you on the path to the Dark Forest.
Okay, I'm gonna ask one more question.
Okay.
It's gonna be slightly inappropriate.
All right.
Has a cat ever died from pooping too much? Will it let me say poop? Put your claws away, you rogue. Okay, yeah, I think I'm banned from the Warriors website now.
The Moonpool said you're too rowdy.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna ask the Moonpool, am I too rowdy? StarClan guides your question with a yes. Okay. Well,
they're getting your ass.
they really are just like roasting me completely. I'm sorry that I am being inappropriate on the Warrior Cats website. I just had to test the filters.
You know what? What kind of an example is this setting for our fans, Jillian?
Exactly. I know, I'm terrible.
We've never said fuck or piss or shit once on this
We've
podcast.
never talked about cats boning down.
Getting it on nasty style.
Getting it on nasty style.
Oh,
raw dogging it in the forest.
We never once talked about how many.
We've never once talked about the size of a cat's dick.
Never talked about how strong a cat's dick is. Oh, we should do the summary and talk about these books before we deteriorate further.
You know, if they didn't want me to ask questions like that, they shouldn't have put sex in their books. Just saying. All right.
Oh, that one got me. Erins Hunter, you did this to yourself.
Uh-huh. So, dear listeners, these books will cover some stuff in The Prophecies Begin. We will be keeping some things somewhat vague, but there will be some spoilers, and I will give you a big heads up right before the big major spoiler line at the end of the summary. Let's begin. In Bluestar's prophecy, we meet the young and strong-willed Blue Kit, daughter of Stormtail. You may remember him from Goosefeather's story. For the most part, her kithood and apprenticeship are standard, though she dislikes the closeness her sister Snowpaw shares with Thistlepaw. After her first gathering, the ThunderClan medicine cat, Goosefeather, claims to have found an omen on a vole that Snowpaw caught, suggesting to Pinestar that in order to survive, ThunderClan must attack WindClan's medicine supply. In the raid on the camp, Snowpaw and Bluepaw's mother, Moonflower, is killed by Hawkheart, the medicine cat of WindClan. This begins a period of grief for Bluepaw, who is eventually assisted by her new mentor, Sunfall. At another gathering, Bluepaw meets Crookedpaw and makes note of his brother Oakheart's arrogance. Later, RiverClan fights ThunderClan to reclaim Sunning Rocks, and Snowpaw and Bluepaw face off in the battle, fighting Crookedpaw and leaving Bluepaw wondering if cats between clans can never be friends. After Pinestar scolds Bluepaw for catching him at Two Lake Place, she and Snowpaw go out hunting, but are attacked by a fox during a thunderstorm. They are saved by a fiery branch falling between them and the fox, which Goosefeather interprets as a prophecy for Bluepaw. Like fire, you will blaze through the forest. Bluepaw and Snowpaw become warriors, Bluefur and Snowfur, and life in ThunderClan continues, with Tiger Kit being born and Sweetpaw dying of sickness. In a battle with RiverClan, Pinestar is nowhere to be found, and soon the leader returns, saying he is no longer going to be leader of the clan. Snowfur gives birth to Thistleclaw's son, White Kit, and grows bored of her time in the nursery, so she and Bluefur go out hunting. During their patrol, they spot ShadowClan cats on their territory, and in chasing them off, Snowfur runs onto the Thunderpath and is killed by a car. During her time of grieving her sister, she distances herself from White Kit until she has a nightmare about him drowning. As time continues, White Kit becomes Whitepaw and then White Storm, and Tiger Kit becomes Tiger Claw under Thistleclaw's mentoring. Sunstar decides to lead a group to RiverClan's camp to demand Sunning Rock's back. And it is then that Oakheart, who Bluefur has been growing feelings for since meeting him on the border, asks Bluefur to meet him at Four Trees that night. Reluctantly, she goes, and decides that after this night together, they can't be together again, especially since Bluefur has ambitions of becoming deputy to prevent Thistleclaw from turning the clan more vicious. Bluefur later learns that she is expecting Oakheart's kids, and Threshpelt agrees to act as their father, even if Bluefur doesn't hold any feelings for him. Tawny spots the current deputy is too ill to continue duties, and Bluefur knows that if she keeps her kids, Thistleclaw will be named deputy instead. After they're born, she tells Oakheart to meet her at midnight to take them to RiverClan. It is a snowy and cold night, however, and Moss Kit doesn't make it. Misty Kit and Storm Kit are taken to RiverClan, while Bluefur makes it look like a predator came into camp and took her kids. Sunstar eventually appoints Bluefur as deputy, revealing he was only granted 8 lives by StarClan. Upon his death, Bluefur travels to the Moonstone to receive her 9 lives. After time passes, Bluestar receives a prophecy from Spotted Leaf, the new medicine cat. Fire alone can save our clan. While hunting with Whitestorm, Bluestar sees a fiery orange kitty pet hunting a blackbird. Perhaps this cat is the fire which will save ThunderClan. In The Rise of Scourge, we meet the runt of a kitty pet litter. Tiny. Teased by his siblings and unwanted by Two Legs, he journeys into the forest to see the warriors. Unfortunately, he is met with Tigerpaw, Thistleclaw, and Bluefur. Bluefur tries to make the other two see sense that this is just a kit, but Tigerpaw savages the young cat. Tiny makes his way to the alleys, where he finds an old dog has left his tooth behind. He tries to remove his collar with it, but only ends up with the tooth stuck in his collar. He uses this to his advantage, pretending he's killed a dog for the tooth in order to gain access to food. Tiny then renames himself to Scourge. After scaring off a dog, he essentially becomes a leader of the alley cats, eventually calling them Blood Clan. Dear listeners, big, huge, massive spoilers for the prophecies begin incoming. Wee woo, wee woo. Tigerstar, now leader of Shadow Clan, comes to get Scourge's help in attacking the other clans. Scourge, however, has not forgotten Tigerstar from moons ago, and waits for the perfect moment to exact his revenge. There we go, baby.
That's it. I have had this plot point in my head for so long that I had completely gone over my head when I was reading that this would even be a spoiler, because I'm just like, oh yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
I won't say more about it.
Yeah,
here.
we're not gonna talk more about that spoiler moment, because I really want to give it the impact it deserves during our Prophecies Begin read. But boy, oh boy.
Yeah, there's a lot happening that's gonna continue happening, that's for sure.
It sure is. Oh man. So yeah, let's talk about Bluestar's prophecy.
Let's talk about Bluestar's prophecy.
Do you want to talk about the names first? Do you want to give me your name spiel?
Yeah, okay. This has become the hill that I'm dying on. I just was reading this book. I was sitting there. I was enjoying my life. I was vibing. I was just reading along. And I started to say to myself, boy, there's a lot of tails. Boy, there's a lot of cats with tail as their suffix. Gee golly, there sure is a lot of cats with pelt or fur as their suffix. Hey, what's going on, ThunderClan? Y'all got the same fucking name over and over again. So I want to make this clear to the listeners. Maybe some of you aren't actually reading along. Maybe some of you didn't stick out to you as much. But just this is in the allegiances and like in the cats in this book. We have 9 cats with tail as their suffix, 7 cats with pelt as their suffix, 6 cats with fur as their suffix, and 5 cats each with heart and claw as their suffix. What's going on? Why are we doing this? Most egregious moment. I can't. I love Pine Star, but my man's Blue Fur and Snow Fur are sisters, and they both get named Fur. What are you doing?
Like, he so easily could have even given them warrior names, like, after their mother. They could have been Blue Moon and Snowflower.
Yeah, hello, that fucking rules. That's a good idea.
Erins, hire me.
That kind of wraps around to a fun fact that Bluestar's name was originally going to be Moonstar.
Oh, I did not realize that.
Yeah, but they had changed it. They also considered Moonstone at one point, I think before they decided that Star was the leader thing, but then they used Moonstone for the Moonstone. And then at some point they were like, yeah, but Moon is like such a sacred word to them, so I don't think that any cats would actually have Moon in their name. And then they named their mother Moonflower.
And here's the thing too. I thought that cats didn't have like prefixes that were the same as the clans.
Mm-hmm.
Like Thunder, Shadow, all that, right?
Right.
There's a cat named Windflight.
There is a cat named Windflight.
Also, I did have to just check on this because when I was looking at the allegiances, I was like, wait a second, why is Foxheart listed as a Tom here? Isn't Foxheart
Yep, that was also a thing that was wrong.
So, yeah.
That was a misprint in the book, yep.
There's also the wrong mother for Crooked Kit and Oak Kit.
Yep. That's consistent throughout this book. I think it's because they just hadn't written the other book yet. But
yeah,
also
this was the second super edition.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
But yeah, that stuff just makes me like, listen, I play it up for the podcast that I take it very seriously. I understand that this is how writing is,
mm-hmm.
and it's not a big deal, but it just does. It sticks out to me sometimes, and I just got to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, you know.
It's just, there's no excuse for there to be 2 cats in ThunderClan, only 1 generation
mm-hmm.
apart, named Snowfur and Frostfur, and they're different cats.
I do agree with that.
It's just that you cannot be doing this.
Yeah.
I think I remember even as a child, all of the events that happen in this book come up in the Prophecies Begin, like as a, mm-hmm. a thing that Bluestar speaks about. She had mentioned her sister Snowfur, and I got so confused as a child because mm-hmm. Frostfur is a cat that exists and is still in the clan.
Right. No, that makes complete sense.
But yeah, anyways, now that that's out of the way, Bluestar's Prophecy, author Kate Carey. This was published July 28th, 2009. And I haven't mentioned the timeline for a few episodes, so I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Once again, thank you to the Warriors Wiki and the events timeline page that they have on there. So according to that, covering the last few episodes that we've covered, Tall Star's Revenge and Yellow Fang's Secret both begin in 1996, and Crooked Star's Promise and Bluestar's Prophecy both begin in 1997. And those are basically like, Tall Kit is born in like January or February of 1996. Yellow Fang is born sometime in the summer. And similar sort of timeline for Crooked Star and Bluestar in 1997. So we're getting there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, like, give me a general vibe. How did you enjoy Bluestar?
So general vibe, I remember liking it a lot more when I read it when it first came out. Because when it first came out, 2009. That would have been, so I was like 15, and I remember really enjoying like the big moments of it. Because I will fully admit I couldn't remember if I had read this one. I was like 90% sure I had read it when it came out. But as I started reading it, I'm like, I don't know if I've actually read this. Because I was like, I don't remember who half these people are. I don't remember reading this. And then as soon as we get to the shit with Sunning Rocks, I'm like, yep, I remember reading this book. So, like, I think it is a fine Warriors book. It is definitely not, like, one of my top. And it is definitely not, like, as disappointed as I was with whichever fucking one of the Dawn of the Clans books it was that we were, like, really sour on. It's been like 7 months. Well, no, the one before that. There was one in one of the 6 books that we were kind of like.
Oh yeah, well we screamed a lot about the 5th one. I think that was probably the one you're thinking of.
Yeah, it's been a
Force
while.
Divided. Yeah.
Gang, that was like April. It's September.
That was eons ago.
That was like a whole half a year ago.
Years.
We've talked about so many cats since then. But yeah, like also with Mothlight's Vision, like I am definitely not as sour on it as I was on Mothlight's Vision. I think it is a fine book. I think they could have cut out a great deal and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
There was definitely what felt like a lot of padding and then a lot of time skips. And I think it would have been better if they'd taken out I say this, I feel like almost every time. I don't need to see their kithood and apprenticehood, especially...
Literally.
Especially for Bluestar, because only one huge thing happens for her, and that's her mom dying. Like, yeah, give me that, and then give me her adulthood, because her adulthood is so good. It is so fascinating. I would have loved to see more of her and Thistleclaw having drama. Like, it's so clearly there, but they just seemed like... I mean, this was the first Super Edition that followed the life of a single cat. So I think they were kind of feeling out the space with it. So I think it does suffer from that.
And admittedly, probably like we're reading this pretty late in our like,
oh god, yeah,
because of the chronology. But this would have been like the thing that sort of set up what would become the structure for these. But I think at this point, I'm very much with you with, like, I just don't need a whole third of a book that is devoted to them being a child.
I think the thing is, though, the reason there is so much of that for her youth, all of that stuff later gets covered in the novellas and the super editions that we've read. Because I remember messaging you, I was like, the summary is going to be like nothing because it is all of the events of the books that we have read up to now told from a different perspective. So I think back then that's why I liked it so much, is because I was like, oh my god, ThunderClan's leader left to become a kitty pet? Holy shit. Like, this would have been like revealing all of that, and it would have been like, oh my gosh, can you believe? But now it's like, okay, yes, I have read about ThunderClan and RiverClan having the same fight over Sunning Rocks 4 times already. I've read about the attack on WindClan's camp 4 times already. So I think that's why perhaps I was a little less, like, jazzed.
They retread this area a lot, like this general part of the timeline, and that's going to continue, I think, a little bit like later in Bluestar's life, but like coming up in the next episode, we have Spotted Leaf's Heart and Redtail's Debt, 2 novellas about cats that are born and introduced in this book, and I think it's going to be in a similar mode of like, oh, these are things that we've seen that's just from another cat's perspective again.
Yeah, which is fine for like a novella, I feel like. But for a super edition, it feels a little bit different, which is why I think, and I mentioned this in our DMs earlier, I feel like the last third of this book was the best part of it.
I agree on that. I think the last third is really where it comes together. Yeah. And I also think this is, we've talked before about our reading method paying off in certain ways. I think this is kind of still that, but also almost like the opposite of that, where it's like sometimes the reading method means that you read all of like this precursor stuff And then when it shows up in this, which was actually written first, then you're like, well, I already know about all of this.
Right. That being said, there were definitely some moments where it is like, this is just Bluestar, Blue Fur, Blue Paw, Blue Kit. That just, wow.
Yeah, there's absolutely some stuff that really hits in here, but I agree, and I've been saying this since we read Tall Star, that I'm just like not, and you know, I'm not a child. So I'm sure that one of the reasons that they focus so much on the childhood of these cats in these books is because children are reading them. And so that's the thing that they're going to be able to identify with very deeply. And it's not for me. And that's okay. I'm making this podcast because I love it anyway. But yeah, just like for my personal tastes, I'm a lot more interested in the stuff that happens after apprenticeship because boy, have I read about so many apprenticeships.
I know. I'm so tired of them.
And
we're about to suffer through another one.
They're just going to keep coming.
They really are. So let's talk about some of our points.
Do you have anything before Moonflower's death to cover? That's sort of the first big note that I have.
I just really liked how when she first opens her eyes and is like looking around the camp and meeting everyone, she's like always commenting on like, oh, I'll always be able to spot this one in battle because I know that they have this color fur. Like spotting the little details about her clan, I think is just such a nice little detail because the reason that Sunstar makes her the deputy is because she cares about the clan.
Yeah.
So deeply. Like, that is her family. And that is, like, a thing with her, too, is, like, I feel like I remember from the Prophecies Begin, we'll kind of talk about it, is, like, she does view the clan as her family, especially now that her biological kin, except for White Storm, are either dead or she had to give them up. So, like, she does very much view the clan as her family, and I just think, like, setting that up with her being very attuned to what all of her clanmates looks like and, like, making a note on, like, the little things she likes about them was a really nice touch.
It was a really nice touch, yeah. I liked that scene a lot. I think that her, like, immediate early kithood of the openers that we've had, maybe aside from Crooked Star, is my favorite of sort of that.
Yeah, I think Goose Feathers is still my favorite.
Oh yeah, Goose Feathers is really good.
But yeah, I think her early kithood was really well done. It's just the rest of her kithood and apprenticeship were, I'm gonna say it, kind of boring to me.
Also, she spends so much time being like sad and angry.
Yeah, and I feel bad for her.
They even talk about it, and I get it. But also, babe.
Oh, she's gonna spend a lot more time being sad and angry, gamers. Like, you do not even get it.
Her life is full of being sad and angry.
Like, she is, you know how, I was thinking about this now that we know who Mapleshade is, and we know about Mapleshade and all that, and how she told Goosefeather, she's like, I don't give a shit about you because, like, ThunderClan is fucked. Like, it really comes through with Bluestar, and I don't, like, Mapleshade was not a thing back then.
Right.
But, like, it is one of those things where it's like, yeah, she wasn't part of the canon back then, but it does really fit with, like, yeah, ThunderClan is gonna be full of, like, struggle.
Yeah,
for
deep sadness and struggle in this era.
Yeah.
And that all kind of kicks off with Moonflower's death, I would say.
I would agree, which she blames on Goosefeather.
She does, and you know,
she's right.
Listen, I'm on record on this podcast being a Goosefeather defender. I think I'm still a Goosefeather defender in general. Like, I'm not, but I'm also not a person who's going to be like, yeah, he didn't fuck up, because he's fucked up a lot. But in many ways, he's still my little meow meow in my heart.
Yeah, he does some things in this book that I think, like, I don't know, he's clearly going through it, and he is clearly suffering.
I think that there could be a genetic predisposition to dementia in this family.
I was literally gonna say the same thing.
And I won't say much more about that now.
No, I was literally gonna say the same thing, Scout, because I was like, yes, there is very clearly something going on with him. I feel like this is not the end of it.
Yeah, maybe put a pin in that, dear listener.
Yeah, put a pin in that. But yeah, Moonflower's death, you know, knowing it was coming, because we've seen the fight 3 times. I mean, it's still hurt because you're seeing it from her daughter's eyes, and she's just like, she has to tell her sister that her mom is dead. She has to tell her nephew that his mom is dead. Like,
God,
why are we always making Bluestar like tell people that their loved ones are dead? Like, that definitely doesn't help.
Yeah, the fucking scene the night before where Moonflower like sleeps with them in the apprentice's den. That almost, I wonder, you know, it wasn't foregrounded in this way in any way in the book, but I wonder if Goosefeather gave Moonflower like Goosefeather went into this and said like, Moonflower, you're gonna die in the like. I wonder if Goosefeather knew and told her, because she
does act like she knows.
Very much like this is the last night with her kits, the night before.
Yeah.
But yeah, the old we're gonna do something together after the fight, followed by dying in the fight maneuver. It may be well played out. It may be a trope that comes up a lot, but damn, it does get me every time. They fucking get me every time with that one, like Charlie Brown with the fucking football.
Yeah.
And she, after this, Blue Paw goes through
she goes through
period of being mean.
Yeah.
Because she's sad. Which is fine. I don't know. It just isn't very interesting to me. I mean, get it, but it just doesn't compel me in the way that, like, other reactions to grief get me.
Well, and here's the thing, too, is, like, they've handled grief so much better in other books, is the thing. And with Blue Fur, I feel like they kind of were just telling everyone that she was angry. There wasn't a lot of her being, like, actually angry. It was a lot of, like, you've been angry for, like, 3 moons. And I'm like, okay, we saw her get mad at Lion Paw once. And even before her mom's death, Lion Paw was a lot. So, like, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it definitely has been handled better.
The lines when she's talking, when Sunstar sort of sits her down and is like, Blue Paw, we have to have a talk. And when she says, like, everything's gone all wrong, those are the moments when the grief works for me a lot more than her just being sort of angry at everybody. And also the whole thing that when she's angry, she kind of, like, shirks her duties and stuff. It just doesn't feel like it goes with her whole thing.
It doesn't. Like, the being angry bit, yes.
Sure, but
the slacking off is not her.
That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. I thought that was a interesting characterization choice that I don't know if I just don't know if it feels like it fits with everything else.
Right.
Do you have anything else before, like, the Pine Star's choice sort of area?
Not really. I just think I did write down Jake cameo, exclamation point.
Jake cameo!
I did also note when she's a kit, Blue Kit does think it was cruel to name White Eye after her bad eye. Put a pin in that one, listeners. And, you know, part of her thing also, she mentions, like, is clan life just suffering? Which is very similar to the way that Pine Star felt. And so I think that is an interesting way of being like, okay, we have 2 leaders of ThunderClan who are like, life is suffering, and their different approaches to it. Mm-hmm. But it really makes you think of, like, it does make you think a lot about, like, these cats just aren't having a good time.
So much of the time, they're not having a good time.
I like to imagine that in those, like, 30 or 40 years that SkyClan was still in the forest, like, things were at least a little okay.
Everybody was just vibing, man. That's why they haven't written anything, because the Erins just want us to know about the conflict. Mm-hmm. The Erins love conflict.
They love the
and I did really like that scene of Pine Star and Blue Paw going to the Moonstone and coming back, and Pine Star having his sort of little soliloquy about the futility of being.
Yeah, he was really in his feels.
He was in his feelings. I think that technically that is the scene that we saw. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the time that Pine Star got when StarClan came to him and was like, Pine Star, kill your son. And I don't know why in this book Blue Fur is here instead of Goosefeather, but so whatever.
It's fine.
You know? It's fine.
Well,
but
Goosefeather sure does want that child dead, though.
Goosefeather sure does.
He's not wrong. The scene where he's like, get that creature away from me.
Get this creature out of my den. This fiend.
Which, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
But
that's the thing.
Here's the thing.
But also, it's like a lot. It's kind of a lot.
It's a lot, and also Tiger Kit is like the clan's golden boy because
he really is.
His mom struggled so much giving birth to him. His dad fucking left. He's the only one who survived the whole litter, and he was like a runt and is like really strong. So they're like, oh wow, yeah, this kid, he's special. Everyone treats him like he's special. And so when everybody else is like, oh my gosh, he's the clan's golden boy, he's like such a good little kid, like we have to take care of him because, you know, his childhood was so hard. And then you got Goosefeather over here who's not washing himself, who's not eating, who like literally has clumps of dirt stuck in his fur. And he's like, get that creature away from me. It's like, yeah, no fucking wonder they all hate you, Goosefeather. Like, yeah, you're over here looking like fucking Baba Yaga screaming at a child.
It's that scene from The Princess Bride, Buttercup's Dream, where the old lady
was yes,
yelling, boo! Boo! But yeah, so apparently Reject the Life of a Kitty Pet got added to the Warrior Code just because of Pine Star.
Yup.
I've been chewing on that for like a week and a half since I finished this book. That's fucked up, man. That's the pettiest shit I've ever heard.
He even suggests it. He's even like, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys do this. And he's like, they're like, yeah, you know what? That's actually a really good idea. Maybe we should do that.
Absolutely untenable. Ugh.
Good God.
Like, guys, grow up. Grow up. Yeah, that shit just made me mad. That they added a whole... Imagine somebody that you just like, man, that guy fucking left, and then you make a 10 commandment about it.
Yeah.
You make an 11th commandment that's like, fuck Steve specifically.
Fuck Steve specifically. Yeah, literally... Yeah.
Imagine just being like, we're adding this to the to our biblical laws, that you can't be a fucking boo-boo, a piss boy baby man who hates working and just wants to be like, it's so petty.
It's so much.
But you know what? Pine Star just gets to go fucking live out his elder
bisexual
days.
life.
His fucking gets to go be bisexual in Two Leg Place and be happy and not even have to think about it, you know?
Yeah.
And I love that for him. Get out of here, dude.
Yeah.
You don't need this.
Oh man.
Snowfur's death did really get me.
Yeah, that did hit me. I forgot that was how she died. So her getting hit by a car was also like me getting hit by a car because I did not see that coming.
The way that Bluefur tells her, we're just going to go out for a little bit. You'll see him really soon, as soon as we come back.
I know. Oh. And she blames herself and she's walking back and she's like, she's fine, like knowing that she's not fine. Oh man.
Which kind of is a parallel to, I'm realizing now that this kind of scene works for me because this is also what happens with Lightning Tail after Turtle Tail is hit by the car back in
the old days,
back in the Dawn of the Clans. Yeah.
It's also
more tales, huh?
It's also interesting because Snowpaw was basically saying the same thing when their mom died. She was like, no, she's not dead. She's just hurt. We can get her back. And Bluepaw's like, no, she's dead. She's dead. And so now Bluefur is like, no, she's fine. She'll come back. Like, she's just hurt. Yeah.
She's just hurt. It's
pain.
Ugh, pain. But we do have her, her memory lives on in her son, White Kit, her and Thistleclaw's son. And I'd love to talk a little bit about Thistleclaw.
You mean that fucking bitch? I I hate this man.
Tell me your Thistleclaw thoughts.
I don't like him. I think he's a bitch. I think so. Like, here's part of my thing with him is like Bluefur tried. She tried to like him. She was like, okay, you know, it's fine if Snowpaw likes him as long as she doesn't make me like him. And then Snowfur's like, please get along with my husband. She's like, I don't like him. He's mean. He's rude. I don't see how you can like him. I don't see that he's like nice to you. And he is ruthless. And I get why Bluefur did the things she did, because he is very clearly headed down a path that we just explored with Yellowfang's secret.
Yeah.
He's acting a lot like Ragged Star and Broken Star. Being very, like, aggressive. He has Tiger Kit, like, leave a scar on his own son during training. I don't like this man. And then he tries to keep Bluefur away from White Kit because she had a month of grief and wasn't around.
That
pissed me off. Pissed me off.
Yeah.
He's like, you weren't around for him for a month. And I'm like, she was grieving too. Like, chill the fuck out.
Yeah. So I feel exactly the same as you, except in the first half of the book, I feel like he was just like a kind of a nothing burger. Like, I feel like Bluefur kept saying that he was arrogant and like ruthless and all this stuff, and we weren't really seeing that in his actions. And even we had moments like he was very gentle with Bluefur during her kidding and everything, and like was...
You mean Snowfur?
Yes, Snowfur, sorry. Ugh, this is why you can't have all these fucking furs. And he was very gentle with Snowfur during her kidding, and he was good with White Kit, like in his early kithood. And then things take such a drastic turn for the worse with Thistleclaw. And I think that it's good because he needs to represent sort of like the worst things that wanting power and strength can do to you. Like, that makes sense, but I just would have liked it to be foregrounded more.
Yeah, I agree.
And that like really bugged me in the first half, that I was like, Thistleclaw is like just kind of a guy. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, he's not just a guy anymore. He's fucked up major time.
Yeah,
but I would have liked more to that. I don't have a good way to articulate it.
No, I think you articulated it perfectly. There was clearly like a little bit of stuff there leading up to it, but it was not as well done as it could have been. The next thing that you have on here is something that I have a lot of opinions about.
Yes. Yeah, the note I wrote is Oakheart and Bluefur. How do we feel about this romance in the grand scheme of Warriors' Forbidden Love? Give me your essay, Jill.
Here's my thoughts. I was reading it and I was like, man, it's taking a really long time for Oakheart to like be a thing. I was like, where is he? But then I think about it and I'm like, Bluefur never had a sort of like, I'm going to leave my clan for you kind of love for him. It was never this grand romance. It was a whirlwind fling that ended up in her getting pregnant. Like, she had never had a crush on anyone before. Like, she had never had these feelings for anyone. And so she took a chance and was like, okay, yeah, I'll give you one night and we'll see how it is. And she's like, this is nice, but it can't be. And she was firm on that. So I feel like I really liked this in the sense of the Warriors' Forbidden Loves, because it's not one of those that's like a grand romance where I'm rooting for them. It's very much like they know they can't be together, and so they don't. Like, Oakheart makes a case to try and like convince her to come to RiverClan or for him to come to ThunderClan, and she's like, we both want to be deputies. That wouldn't happen if either of us left our clans. Like, we need to do our duty. And he says, you know what? You're right. I'll take care of the kids. And that's that. He never tries to like come back to her and like whisk her away. It's very much like this is a first romance that fizzles out. And I really like that because I don't feel like there's enough of that in fiction.
I think that's fair, yeah.
I feel like there's so much focus on romance in fiction of like the romance being the romance of that life, like and a lot of like fandom culture has kind of cemented this as well with like the coinage of OTP and stuff, and it's like, you know, characters can have romances and flings, And that's not who they end up with in the end, and that doesn't mean it's any less important.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really, like, I feel like now that I'm an adult, I have a greater appreciation for how this romance, quote unquote, was carried out. I don't feel like it is meant to be a grand romance. I feel like it is meant to be another tragedy in Bluefur's life of, like, you have a destiny and you can't escape it, and this is just the way that it has to be. You have to suffer this grief in order to follow the path that you're meant to follow. What are your thoughts?
I hadn't thought about it from that angle, and I really like that, actually. For me, it was a lot more like there's not, this is a thing that is considered like an extremely pivotal moment in Bluefur's story as a character. And for me, it felt like there just wasn't enough of it. Like, it felt sort of like you're saying, like, and I think that I like your angle of, like, it was a short time thing that ended up sort of ballooning into something that was, you know, more complicated than she had intended it to be. But in my reading, I was trying to find, like, I think of this relationship in the in the course of Warriors kind of as like a quintessential deep, you know, forbidden love across borders that leads to tragedy, but is like a true and deep connection, and that, like, they pine for each other and stuff. In my head, like, this is how I remember it sort of being portrayed, and I can't remember if that was something that I kind of constructed or if it was something that was really sort of put into the books later. I'm interested to see how that comes about later. But I just felt like for something that is sort of the thing that Bluestar's whole character arc ends up hinging on, it just felt very small. And I think your read on it makes that work a lot better for me. But the way I was thinking of it, it fell flat in just how, like, it was so sudden, and it happened and then it stopped and then it was happening again. And so, yeah, I mean, that was my feel, but I do like what you said about it. And I think that makes it more interesting than sort of the more straightforward read that I was getting out of it.
Yeah, I am interested in seeing how it's taken in Prophecies Begin, but I feel like even in Crooked Star's Promise, it's so clear that Oakhart is more in love with Bluefur than she is with him, to me.
That's
because
true.
Oakhart is the one constantly sneaking out to go see her. So I feel like...
Right, you messaged me earlier and you said that you're putting a simp sticker on him.
He is a simp. But you know what? I love that for him. I think Oakhart's a good guy. I enjoy him.
I really like Oakhart. I think Oakhart is a good guy. But yeah, and you know, maybe a lot of the read I'm getting from it is knowing that the Erins have said, like, Bluestar and Oakhart are together in StarClan eventually.
Right. Yeah, that feels weird to me. But I feel I am going to stick with my reading is what I'm saying.
I like that.
I like the idea that it is just like, and I literally, I was, you know, as I was reading this, I always keep my husband updated on the drama, even though he doesn't give a shit. And so I was like, oh my God, it was just a one night stand that she had, and now she's pregnant. And he's like, well, that sucks. So it is very much like, it feels more of, you know, as an adult, it feels more of like, you know, she had a crush, she let him hit, and that's the consequences that she got.
Yeah, you know, sometimes
not to victim blame. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I want to make that very clear. I'm not victim blaming her. I am saying, like, yeah, you know, sometimes you get pregnant.
Sometimes you get pregnant, man.
That's just what happens.
I just want to talk momentarily about Oakhart and the weird inconsistency, and it could partially be because of, like, narrator perspective. Like, Bluefur is seeing him from a very different way, a very different angle than, like, we see him in Crooked Star's Promise. Was he ever really acting especially arrogant to you? I don't think so.
Yeah. I think her saying he was acting arrogant was very much like I feel like it was her deflecting her feelings because
yeah.
it was directly after Rosepaw was like, oh my gosh, he's so handsome. I wish there was a cat like that in our clan. And she's like, no, he's arrogant. Like, why would you say that? It felt... I don't see him as very arrogant, but I think it is very much, and I did make this small connection. It did feel very Pride and Prejudice to me for her to say that about him.
Oh,
where
God
she's like
damn it.
misreading him as arrogant when, in fact, you know,
he's just simping.
He's simping, and also, like, he is a good warrior in RiverClan, and, like, he is getting a lot of attention for that.
Oh no, this is gonna fuck up my whole day.
I know it is. I'm so sorry.
The fact that you've compared it to Pride and Prejudice is just gonna completely turn my life flip turn upside down.
Yeah, I know. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do that, listeners. I know how Scout feels about Pride and Prejudice because I also feel that way about Pride and Prejudice.
Everybody leave me alone.
Listen.
I know my type, okay?
Exactly. He's very clearly not as brooding, but I do feel it is a case. I feel like it is a case of mistaking their personality for something else less than savory.
Yeah. That makes sense, because I was just thinking about the way also that Bluefur is like so deeply like, oh, he clearly wants to be deputy one day, and that is in such contrast to the scene in Crooked Star's Promise when he's literally like, I don't want to be deputy.
Right.
Like, honestly, I'm kind of on the trade of she should have just let him come live in RiverClan. I think he would have been a great stay-at-home dad.
I think he would too, but I think she was also thinking, like, if I bring a RiverClan cat in as my mate, I am not going to make deputy.
I know, it's true.
Especially because RiverClan is, like, the enemy in this book.
Yeah. I hate the warrior code sometimes.
Me too, man. It fucking sucks shit. You know who sucks shit even more? Fucking
Is it
StarClan. I hate those bitches.
Seriously, every time we come into an episode, we're like, man, StarClan really sucks in this one. Turns out maybe StarClan just fucking sucks.
Yeah, I'm starting to think maybe StarClan has always sucked, and I've just never really, like, given it that much thought. I was never like, oh my god, StarClan's so cool. I've always been like, oh, cool, we get prophecies and omens and shit. But I've never really, like, before this podcast, I'd never really thought about just how shitty StarClan is. Except for the medicine cat rule that you can't have kids. That's it. But I think they kind of suck, actually.
They kind of suck is the thing. They feel so much like a United States government body to me, where it's like they're not doing anything. They're sitting way back here doing jack shit. No. I moved my mic around. And then all of a sudden one thing happens and they're so close. They're so fucking close to you. Like, did you guys know that that's bad, that you shouldn't be doing that? And that's actually, like, there's a bit...
Hey, Pine Star, kill your brand newborn child who hasn't even opened his eyes yet.
Pine Star, kill your fucking kid. Okay, I'm done.
Pine Star. Gotta choose, bud. Are you gonna stay in the clan? Or are you gonna go be a himbo bisexual with the kitty pets? Also, if you stay in your clan and you don't kill your kid, shit's gonna be fucked for real.
Which is it, Pine Star? Infanticide or a nice retirement? Anyways.
Oh man, no, they suck. The fact that they only gave Sunstar 8 lives.
Yo, that shit is so fucked up. Are you kidding me?
We know they would do that shit because they did that shit with Night Pelt.
It's the same thing. They won't let Night Pelt get his night. They
say that they are, like, basically heaven, but they're making these dumbass decisions. Like, you can't clearly tell these cats are evil as fuck, or, like, you pretend you do not see it, is the thing. So stupid.
Yeah, the thing I have written here that I want to say on mic is... like, do we think... So what happens is they hold back one of Sunstar's lives because Pine Star leaves the clan and goes to live in Two Leg Place before losing his last life. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, Would they have held that life back if Pine Star had thrown his final life away in a reckless battle? No. They would have been like, he's a hero. They would have lauded him as a hero for dying in some dumb, shitty, dumb ways to die song ass way. But instead, because he made a choice about his destiny that didn't align with what they wanted of him, they're like, okay, fine. Well, then your successor doesn't get 9 lives. They only get 8 lives because you made us mad.
Yeah, they don't fucking make any sense.
No, absolute.
Also, not letting Bluefur, like, go up to her kit when she met with StarClan. That was fucked up. Like, that's her child. Oh, man.
Pisses me off all the time. I do want to shout out one quote. We haven't had a quote shout out in a while, I feel like.
It feels like it's been a while.
But shout out to Goosefeather for delivering the coldest, hardest book line in the book, which is, "It is not your destiny to feel better. It is your destiny to save your clan."
Woof.
Fucked up, dude. Whoa.
Yeah, you can't just say that to people.
You can't just say that to people. Like, jeez.
Yeah. I will once again say I'm loving seeing cats that I grew up loving.
Yeah.
White Storm especially.
White Storm!
I love, oh my god. Guys, it's gonna turn into a fucking White Storm fan cast when we get to the next season, because let me tell you, this man,
White Storm fucking rules.
He's such a good boy. He's so good is the thing.
He's so good. White Storm, good guy. I love that guy.
He's awesome.
Like, I don't have anything interesting to say about it except that I just fucking love White Storm. White Storm is a great guy. We're gonna see some more of White Storm, and I fucking love him so much.
Yeah. He's a great dude.
Dude rules. Good dude.
He's got some great children.
Yeah.
Some maybe not so great children.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, White Storm's the best. I love him so
White
much.
Storm's the best.
Can't wait to talk about him more for like a full another 6 or 8 episodes.
White Storm.
I feel like we've shared our thoughts on Goosefeather for the most part.
Yeah,
unless you had anything to add. Also, just gonna say, keep an eye on Tiger Claw, because like Goosefeather ain't wrong. He is a creature.
Yeah, I guess we did do that whole like dramatic reenactment of that scene, but boy, that scene where Tiger Kit is wandering around and like showing the younger kits around, and they go into the medicine den, and Goosefeather's like, "Get that fucking creature out of my sight." It's such a it's unhinged, but it's such a good scene. I love that shit. I did write down Goosefeather unhinged era. I love Goosefeather's unhinged era in a lot of ways. There's like some moments with Goosefeather where like he's haunted also, and we know he's haunted. But there's this one scene where Bluefeather like is talking to him, and he says something, and she turns away, and then she hears his voice in her ear when she's far away from him, and he's like, "You are beware water." It's like, whoa, dude, calm down.
He does have like some wacky moments of just like staring off into space.
This man is looking at so many ghosts.
He's got so many fucking ghosts.
This man's looking at so many fucking ghosts off screen. Just imagine this whole book about like just sort of at the periphery. If you were to turn the camera 1/3 of the way in either direction,
there's like scrungliest man,
and like 50 ghosts just watching all of this with like popcorn. Like, damn, this fucking Bluefur is doing some shit, huh? And Goosefeather's like, "Shut up, stop talking to me." And they're all just trying to gossip with him. That's what Goosefeather's interiority is in my head. Is that he's just got so many ghosts that are just like trying to have a conversation with him, and he's like, "I'm fucking beset upon by
I'm beset upon by spirits.
The spirits, the phantoms, they haunt me." And they're like, "Dude, Goosefeather, dude, like, come on, don't you want to go out and get a beer?"
Yeah.
That's Bluestar's prophecy to me.
Yeah, I agree. It's, for all that I was saying, a good deal does happen.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in here, but I do feel like it's one of the super editions that could have been like 1/3 shorter than it is.
Yeah, Let's talk about the Rise of Scourge.
Yeah, Rise of Scourge.
So, as I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast or if I just mentioned this to you. Growing up, my mother fell very deeply into the anime and manga is bad because there are certain anime and manga that have bad things in them, aka tits, and Pokemon causes seizures, even though that episode was never shown out of Japan. You know, that kind of stuff. She fell into a lot of the fear mongering about anime and manga.
The moral panics.
The moral panics about anime and manga. So I didn't watch anime until I was in college. I did read manga because I was able to convince her to let me read the Warriors one because it's about cats and it was a series I was already reading. So Rise of Scourge was one of the first manga that I ever read.
I love this so much. This is a great moment to highlight this note on the wiki.
Yeah, it's not technically a manga because it's not Japanese, but like, it's technically a graphic novel, but it's published by Tokyo Pop, so they call it a manga, I guess.
It's just so, I want to read, it just made me laugh so hard. So on the Rise of Scourge wiki page, the only piece of trivia is essentially, though referred to as a manga, it is not technically one because it is not made in Japan or drawn by a mangaka. And then there's like a little, number that gives you that there's a source. And if you click on the source, it takes you to the manga page on Wikipedia. And it's so funny to me.
Yeah.
Just the fact that it redirects you to manga on Wikipedia as the source of this information. Oh, shout out to whoever did that.
Yeah, good for you.
This was published June 24th, 2008. Originally, the author is Dan Jolly, same as the last manga that we read. The illustrator is different on this one. This was illustrated by somebody named Bettina Kurkowski.
I love her style.
It's great. It really does look anime and manga-ish.
It does, especially some of the like background faces of Tiny's siblings. Like they do have that classic like manga heh kind of face.
Yes.
This is an audio podcast, so I can't show you, but like there is literally like the half moon grins on his siblings in one panel, and it's so fun.
There is straight up. There's a panel of Scourge when he first names himself Scourge that is straight up just the knife cat.
Oh my god, yes.
If you look at him and he's like, my name is Scourge, it's like you're just being knife cat right now. I've never seen a cat more knife cat.
I need to get like a knife sticker and put it in my book because that is so true. He is straight up knife cat. Oh my god.
Maybe I'll make us a Discord emoji for that. You should join our Discord, dear listeners.
That would be so fun.
I'll do that.
I really do love the art style. I think it's very fun. It's very like I love the way the cats are drawn. I really like the shapes. A lot of like really good shapes going on.
Little paws.
The muzzles, especially, I love.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very good.
Yeah, a very fun look on this. Unfortunately, Bettina Kurkowski does not come back and do any more of the Warriors manga, though apparently she has done like some of the Seekers manga.
Oh, okay.
Which is Seekers is another Erins Hunter joint, but it's about dogs instead of cats.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let me look at her website. Oh my god, gang! Her website is the most early 2000s I have ever seen. It was last updated in 2017. She did Star Trek the manga 40th anniversary convention exclusive cover.
Wow, this is incredible.
Yeah. I love looking at the artwork on these artists' websites. Oh, she does really good birds.
You should go. We gotta go check her out in the Boston South Coast Comic-Con and Anime Fest, December 9th and 10th, 2017. You know, we gotta get our tickets.
It's true. But anyway, that's fun. Really cool. Thank you, Bettina. Your stuff is great. We love it.
Yeah. I do want to mention Jake gets the fuck around. Jake sure does get around.
I wrote Jake. The only note I have, giving Jake the dead wife montage moment of like Quince looking at the framed photo the two legs have of Jake, just
especially
like on
because
the
I
shelf.
feel like at this point he probably wasn't dead yet.
He also wasn't Like, he didn't belong to the two legs that Quince belonged to. Like,
oh, it's so funny.
It's so funny. And she's just like, I wish you were here to see our children, even though none of them look like you. And I'm like, Quince, you probably got around too. Don't worry about it.
One thing I did want to touch on that I thought is cool is that there's a scene in here of Tiger, Paw, Thistleclaw, and Blue for meeting Tiny and sort of chasing him off of the territory, and Tiger Paw is very vicious about it.
And he's huge.
Eggs him on, and Tiger Paw is so fucking big. Never has a cat been bigger. This is a big guy. And Tiny is so small.
He's so
little. But we also see this scene in Bluestar's Prophecy, and we are going to see it at least one more time in the next episode coming up. Because I read ahead. I read one of the novellas we'll be reading ahead of time. And I just think it's really cool that this manga, which is sort of like a tertiary part of the canon, you would say, is something that sort of originated a scene that ended up having these echoes through a couple of the books. I just thought that was a cool little thing. And it's a good scene. Really does illustrate everything wrong with Thistleclaw and Tiger Paw, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a very good scene because there's also, like, it keeps coming back in the manga. And I could go on and on and on about comics as a medium, as a storytelling medium, and how much you can do with them. But I have enough about that could fill a entire semester of a college course, because that is one of the college courses that I took. But, like, suffice to say, I just have, like, such an appreciation for graphic novels and comics and manga, because the way that you can use the formatting to tell a story, I think, is just really, really entertaining and really unique. And you can really, like, tell a lot of story with a single panel. It's very fascinating. And I think this manga does a decent amount of it. Like, it does a really good job.
Yeah, it's a short read, you know, it's pretty quick. I think it's shorter than
yeah, it is very small.
Than Exile from Shadow Clan.
Oh, definitely. Exile from Shadow Clan is like 3 times the size.
Yeah, but it tells its story efficiently, and it tells its story very well, sort of in visual and like the narration, like sort of the way that the narrating and everything is done, and the internal monologues, and I like it a lot. I make comics, I read comics,
love comics. I think comics don't get enough love. I think they are very often seen as a child's medium, and I feel like that is so wrong.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of, there's a lot of very good comics for children. There's also a lot of really good comics for adults.
Yeah. It is a medium that so well utilizes both visual and
prose
written storytelling.
I agree.
And this is a fun little romp, and it's cool to see Scourge for the first time here. We'll be seeing more of Scourge later. Next season we will be getting some Scourge. So watch this space.
Yeah, I feel like there's not much I can say about this manga without, like, completely spoiling The Prophecies Begin.
Yeah.
But it is fun to see his origin story.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to see just how much of it started out as showboating.
Oh yeah.
And how it's so fake it till you make it, but making it is becoming like a vicious, bloodthirsty
cult
leader of leader of cats, killer of men. Not actually killer of men, killer of cats also. The author Dan Jolly, who did the writing for this one, I believe Dan Jolly has written all of the manga, but I'm not entirely sure. He said that he wanted to write this as a mirror, darker version of what becomes Firestar's path. I think that tracks, and that's pretty cool. Did you want to talk about the foreword for this one?
I would like to talk about that in the Erin Corner, actually.
All right, great.
I actually have something to say in the Erin Corner. Wild. Don't get used to it, listeners. This is Scout's spot.
Should we hop over to the Erin Corner?
I think so.
Bloop. That's the sound of me hopping over.
Oh no, I fell in the water. Shit.
No! Jill! Jill, quick!
Remember me!
No! They're being washed away! Maple Shade's gonna get him.
Yeah. It's okay. I made it out because I'm built different.
It's built different than those babies.
Sorry, smarter than a 5th grader. It's gonna swim better than a ThunderClan kit. That's so
you
bad.
Get out of the water, you're just like fucking babies.
That was very insensitive of me. I am so sorry. I don't know what's going on with me tonight. I've romanced one sexy vampire, and it all goes downhill.
Yeah, it all goes downhill from there. You know, you just become morally depraved.
I was already morally depraved. We know this. Don't act like I'm some pinnacle of virtue.
We are back with Kate Carey in this Erin Corner. Though it sounds from author statements that I've seen, various author statements, that Vicky Holmes also had a lot of direct input on this super edition, but I can't find anything about exactly how much. But I know that in some instances, when asked, like, what was your favorite thing to write in the Warriors books, Victoria Holmes has said, like, scenes in Bluestar's Prophecy. I don't know which ones, but it seems like Victoria Holmes did, like, write some scenes for this at least. That's pretty much as I could find out. It's hard to track down this information at this point. But Bluestar is one of Kate's favorite cats, which I like. And I liked this that I found, which is, while it's not officially part of the canon, Vicky has stated that she likes the idea of Bluestar being related to Maple Shade.
It's not unlikely.
It's very much a possibility. And the last thing I have is that, you know, they say Bluestar has Russian blue ancestry. Yeah, makes sense to me. I love to hear about the different cat breed ancestries of the various cats, though. But other than that, I couldn't find too much on this one, aside from that, you know, a lot of the Erins really like Bluestar. They like writing her. They like thinking about her. And they enjoyed writing this book. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you have to add to the Erin Corner today.
I don't have much, but one thing I do want to say is next year, in March 2024, there will be a full color edition of Rise of Scourge released.
Hell yeah.
So that's awesome. Love that, because I really like the full color stuff that they've been doing. I think that'll be really neat. And I want to read the foreword to the Rise of Scourge manga, because I feel like it gives a little bit more of an appreciation of what's going on here. This is going to be spoilers ahead for Prophecies Begin, so skip ahead to the end of this discussion. Dear readers, Scourge, leader of Blood Clan, is the closest thing to evil we will ever encounter in the forest. When I first created him, I must confess, I didn't think about his past. I just needed a truly terrifying cat, one who didn't seem physically threatening at first, but who had a hunger for violence and bloodshed that far exceeded anything the clan cats had seen before. If ever a character was purely bad, Scourge is it. He certainly made a powerful enemy for Firestar, leader of ThunderClan, when Scourge challenged all 4 clans to fight for control of the forest. But when I stopped to consider what might have shaped his character, I realized that this was a story that could be very interesting to explore. A manga novel seemed like the perfect opportunity to go back to Scourge's origins and track his path from cute fluffy kit, because all kits are cute and fluffy, right, to evil tyrant. I didn't want to make excuses for his behavior, because no amount of misfortune or bullying could justify that sort of savagery. Instead, I was curious to see how another smart, ambitious, and courageous young cat, is anyone else thinking Firestar, could end up following a much darker, blood-soaked path. So walk in Scourge's paw steps if you dare, and see if you can still judge him as harshly by the end. Every cat deserves to have his story told, and this is Scourge's hour. So I think it really does, like, hammer home that, like, this is not meant to be like a, oh, poor baby kind of story. It is very much meant to be like, this could have been Firestar if he took a different path.
Mm-hmm.
Which yeah, I think is very fun.
It's good context.
So yeah, I just think it's really, a really interesting take on the manga. Because you're so used to, like, seeing a lot of villain origin stories be shown as, like, this is why they deserve our sympathy and stuff like that. Which, like, I'm...
little guy.
Look, you know me. I love a villain. I love a villain. And I love a villain who is redeemable, and I love a villain who is absolutely unrepentant and unsavable. Just love a villain. Just love a well-written villain. Yeah. And so I think, you know, it is nice for them to, like, be clear in this of, like, we're not saying Scourge should be your little meow meow. We're just saying this is what happened. Mm-hmm. But it's hard not to love him when he's so fucking cute in the illustrations.
He's so
little.
He's so small.
He's just a small boy.
But yeah, I agree. I think it's fun. I think, you know, there's room for all kinds of villains in life.
I agree.
And yeah, I like that forward a lot. Shall we share some tongues?
Let's share tongues. So I do want to say that since there's a lot of Bluestar and Scourge yet to come, I just looked up specifically under the titles of the books. I was not going to look for anything that would be Prophecies Begin spoiler related.
Yeah, we'll be returning to these topics.
So this is going to be pretty short. AO3, there is one fic for The Rise of Scourge. It's not even really a fic. It's somebody trying to tell a joke, but it's also crossed over with Dexter's Laboratory and something else.
What?
Yeah.
Man, the people are amazing. You know, humanity is incredible.
Everybody's so creative.
Everybody's so creative.
That's all I'll say about that. There are 29 for Bluestar's Prophecy, specifically. There's Zelda... God damn it.
Zelda cat!
She just stepped on my cake!
Oh my god.
Zelda! Oh no, she did step all in the frosting.
No, Zelda cat!
I was saving that for later. Anyway, what was I saying? There's 11 fics for Bluestar and Rosetail.
Hell yeah.
Rosetail being...
sort of her best friend, I would say.
Yeah, her bestie from Prentishood. They were really close. And 11 fics for them. Good for them.
Good for them.
89 for Bluefur and Oakheart.
They're big.
They're popular.
They're popular.
Which, you know what? Good for them. I will admit, I found some AMVs. I did not end up watching any of them, so I will put those in the show notes if it turns out they don't have spoilers. Mm-hmm. Tumblr, however, has got some fun stuff. Firstly, I wanted to bring up this really nice art of Bluestar and Moss Kit with little ghost Moss Kit floating down, looking at Bluestar just as I've been waiting for you. And it's so cute. I love, as we can tell from, you know, when we had our Maple Shade episode, I love art of mother cats seeing their dead kits' ghosts when they're, like, about to die. I think it's just really nice.
I like that there is like a water reflection lighting thing going on over Bluestar in this too. Very thematic, very meaningful.
There's also some Tiger Claw meta in the tags of like, is Tiger Claw's situation nature versus nurture? If Pine Star had stayed, or if Thistleclaw hadn't been his mentor, would he have turned out differently? I don't... It's hard for me to say on that one, personally.
I feel like it's a fun thought exercise, but the reality of the way that these books are written means no.
Right, that's exactly what I was going to say, is like, it's fun to think about, but given how, like, firm and deterministic StarClan is, I feel like he was just bound to be the way he is.
And that's not to say that you can't write fanfic that's different or anything.
Oh, yeah, no,
like, obviously, of course. But thinking about it from if you're talking about how would the canon be different if these things had been different, I don't know that it would be different because of, like we have talked about, very deterministic, very the things that are going to happen no matter what. That is sort of the structure of how the world works for warrior cats and warrior cats from what we've seen. And so I think there would have been some way that he got there no matter what.
I agree. Got some cool cover art from the Chinese edition.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. I saw that one.
She's so pretty in it. Lots of cat designs, of course. Lots of arguing over whether this is like gonna become a big thing, I feel like, especially now that the Dark Forest is like a bigger thing in the series. Bye, Zelda. Like, a lot of people like, does this cat deserve to go to the Dark Forest? And like, I think here's the thing. StarClan is biased. So
StarClan is biased, but also
the reason we might say a cat should go to the Dark Forest, like, they're not gonna, they might be like, no, they're fine.
it's true. We'll have more to say about this next episode, is what I will say.
Okay, interesting. Some people were participating in the nice guyification of Thrushpelt, which I think is unfair.
No, Thrushpelt is genuinely just a good dude.
Yeah, they were like, oh, he feels so like, oh, well, if I do this for her, she'll come back to me. And it's like, no, he doesn't.
That's
He explicitly tells her, like, hey, I know you're never going to have feelings for me, but, like, I care about you, and so I want to make sure that you're okay, so I'm going to do this for you. And she even, like, goes as far as to call him, like, one of her best friends.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, because he's, like, genuinely a good dude. Anyway, that pissed me off.
Yeah. Justice for Thrushpelt.
Justice for Thrushpelt. We, moving on to Rise of Scourge, you know the girlies love Scourge art.
Yes.
There's so many good Scourge designs out there, guys. There's so many. They're so good. Some of them are just, like, so fucking early 2000s emo.
Oh, yeah.
He was the blueprint.
He was, for
there
real.
There is also a post that I took a screen grab of that says, the expressions in the Rise of Scourge were so fun. # my son Tiger Paw, who has every disease. And it's just a bunch of Tiger Paw screen caps of, like, his fucking beefy ass face.
I like the one where he's going,
It's very fun. There's another one of Scourge as, like, in the same pose as Scar from The Lion King at the very beginning.
I like
that one. Just a lot of really good fucking art. Also, a bunch of artists. We've talked about a bunch of artists, like animators, getting together and doing these multi-animator projects. They did a collaborative redraw of the manga. So
and it's so fun.
There is a redraw. I think every page is done by a different artist.
Yeah, it's great.
And I love seeing it. It is very fun. It is very cool. We will definitely link it. And I just love seeing the variety of designs out here.
Yeah, it's great.
I love cats.
Man, I love cats. I'm excited to. I'm just excited. We're getting into it. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. And then, of course, there's this image of Scourge with the Joker makeup on.
Why have they done this?
And it's made to look like a Tumblr post where it's Scourge of Blood Clan 100, and it's just a picture of him with the Joker makeup on. And random stray cat, lovely makeup, Tiny. What's the occasion? And his response is, all I have are negative thoughts.
God.
Apparently it is in reference to another shit post of a... Oh,
it's like a warthog.
Oh, have you not seen Horus the warthog?
No.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
We can't get into Horus, but, like, it is of a random, like, roleplay blog that goes and, like, interrupts other people's posts.
God.
But it is of this boar with Joker makeup on saying the exact same thing.
Oh no.
So
incredible.
We have that. It's very good. And then there's, of course, this little somebody reblogged or somebody posted a thing of there's the moment when Tiny first goes out into the forest and he climbs up a tree stump and he's standing up on it and he's posing all proud, and it is like the exact same pose that he does when he's like, I am Scourge. And I think it's just very cool to, like,
it's very
again
cool. That also
comics
is
as a medium.
Yes.
Oh.
This is also the Knife Cat Scourge.
Yes, this is the Knife Cat Scourge. We love Knife Cat in this house.
Love Knife Cat. But yeah, comics as a medium, fucking good.
Fucking
love
good.
Visual
love
parallels.
Yeah, visual parallels get me every fucking time.
So good.
I'm a known lover of them. That's about all I have for sharing tongues, though.
All right. I suppose it's time to choose our warrior cats of the week.
It sure is. Why don't you tell me yours first?
Jill, did you not choose a warrior cat of the week?
I have a couple of options, but I didn't have a firm one this week.
I know, yeah. I was sort of in the same boat. So I will go first. I didn't choose one for Rise of Scourge.
I don't think we need one for Rise of Scourge, because
there's not really enough characterization in there for...
There's not enough characterization. There's not enough characters that are named.
Exactly. There's not really a lot of... but for Bluestar's Prophecy, I feel self-conscious like I'm always picking men TM. Like I'm always picking male cats and never giving any love to the girlies, but I just really like Sunstar a lot, okay?
Ooh,
Sunstar is
okay.
my warrior cat of the week. I think he was a good influence on Bluefur and everyone around him. I think he was a really strong leader. He had like an air of quiet competence that I liked a lot. And I just think it's bullshit that he had to suffer because of a perceived wrong choice from Pine Star before him. So yeah, fuck Star Clan. We love Sunstar.
Wonderful. I think that actually helped me figure out my warrior cat of the week. It's Feather Whisker.
Oh yeah, that was almost mine.
Thinking about it as you were talking about it, I'm like, yeah, what cats had like a really good influence on her? And honestly, Feather Whisker was like, I feel like he wasn't like a huge influence, but he was always a very positive force.
I really like Feather Whisker.
And I love him. I feel like he is such an interesting character, not because he's got anything special going on, but because he is the medicine cat in between Goosefeather and Spotted Leaf, who are like two huge forces.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
he does kind of have something going on because I keep forgetting, but he is the one that, like, for whatever fucking reason, he knows all the shit that's going to happen with Yellowfang.
Mm-hmm.
He got that prophecy about Yellowfang, and he's just kind of sitting on it for a long time.
And he is Sunstar's brother.
Yeah, he is Sunstar's brother.
But it does mention, he's a good guy, I think. I feel like he's just a nice guy. He's just a fun little guy. I like him a lot. And I just think that he, he takes on the role of medicine cat in stride when, like, Goosefeather is kind of basically not doing his job.
Yeah,
Feather Whisker doesn't actively, like, complain about it. He'll, crack a joke or be like, oh yeah, he's just not doing it. But he is, like, good-natured and just, like, a really positive guy. I like him a lot.
He's got a lot of grace.
Yes. So yeah, I think Feather Whisker is he's my boy this week.
That's a great one. I almost chose him, and then I was like, maybe it should be Rosetail because I feel like I'm always choosing the boys, but I just didn't. She was great, but she didn't hit me the same way that Sunstar did.
And that's totally fair and valid. If you have thoughts, opinions, questions, memes to share with us, I don't know why I just did your outro.
I was gonna say, are we switching?
No, I just was like, all right, let's go.
All right, well,
let's go. I'm so fucking punchy today. I'm so sorry.
It's good.
What's going on?
Hey, if you have thoughts, opinions, questions, or memes to share with us, you can write to us at pawsandclawspod@gmail.com. That's paws as in what a cat has, claws as in the part of speech, pod as in podcast. We are also on Twitter at Paws and Claws and on Tumblr at Paws Clause Pod. Listeners who are 18 years and older can come join us on Discord, which will be linked in the show notes. You can find me on Blue Sky or Tumblr and Twitter, but, at HumbleGoat. And you can see the art that I do, including our podcast cover art, at scoutwilkinson.myportfolio.com. Links to my portfolio, as well as my Ko-fi page, are also in the show notes.
And you can find me in the deep blue sea on Twitter at plot_twists, on Blue Sky at plot-twists, or on Tumblr at antique-romantic. Our next episode, and the last of Season 2, The Road to Rusty, will be out in 2 weeks, where we will discuss 3 different stories: Spotted Leaf's Heart, Redtail's Debt, and The Fear of Fire. Read along by buying the books from a local bookstore or checking out a copy from your local library. Until then, dear listeners, may StarClan guide your paws. For the most part, they still are on my bad side for denying me at the moon pool.
Yeah.